Since the revamp of the glyph system in Naraka, many players don't know which talents to pick. This video will help you find a good build for any character, game mode, or playstyle. Many heroes use the same glyph page, so this video is structured by glyph pages, not by individual characters. If you are looking for a general glyph page to use on all characters and game modes as a starting point, here is what you do. You skill the first green energy node and work your way through grappling distance all the way to skill cooldown reduction in the bottom. Energy lets you dodge by pressing shift more often, which increases your mobility and survivability. Grappling distance is great for catching enemies and running away. And skill cooldown lets you use your F skill more often, which can come in clutch in many fights. We don't care about grappling speed that much, because it's not that strong, but we have to pick it up to unlock the big ones. You want to pick up the first red rage per second node, and spec into everything rage per damage dealt. This allows you to use your ultimate ability more often, which is really powerful. This only leaves 1 point. If you believe in luck, put it into the first blue node. This is meant to give you better drops from green and gold tropes. I say believe because we don't know how good this is. To test it, you would have to open hundreds of troves with and without it, record all the loot you open and compare it. As far as I know, nobody has done this in a very long time. I personally believe in luck, so I like taking the first blue. If you research this and have some actual data, please comment under this video. If you do not believe in luck, you can put the last point into the red damage reduction node on the top, or the first purple damage reduction node on the right. The red one gives 20% damage reduction for 10 seconds after you used your ultimate, and then it does nothing for a full minute. The purple one gives 10% damage reduction from melee attacks, but only while you are in blue, purple, or gold focus. Both are situational, and it's hard to tell which one is better, but I would say that the red one is good if you frequently use your ultimate early into the fight and then keep fighting with it. With this, your general purpose glyph page is completed. This glyph page is going to be optimal for most characters in solos and also for some in trios. But if you have only one talent page in total, you will run into problems sooner or later. Enemies who have specialized glyph pages for each game mode, character, or strategy might have an advantage against you. And it is really important that you understand the logic behind the glyph choices. Watch this video all the way to the end. Then you will know all you need to make a custom glyph build that matches your requirements. First, let us talk about some characters that are a special case. Tarka needs all the energy he can get to do the punches in his ult, cancel attacks, and dodge. He sacrifices grappling distance and grappling speed to spec into the bottom side of the green tree. Kurumi's circle is inexpensive in rage cost and she ults late into the fight. So she can run the standard green, but go for blue shop discount instead of red rage. Since most players treat ranked trios as a training environment for Immortal War trios, they will spec into the top blue path, which prioritizes coins over luck and quest rewards. Wuchen and Sheol do not need the big red damage reduction glyph, since they should not take damage directly after using their ultimate. If you spend the last point of the generic glyph page on that red one, make sure to pick something else on Wuchen and Sheol instead. For Wuchen F3, some players would argue that the green skill cooldown and the extra grappling speed on the way to it are entirely skippable because Wuchen has an incentive to keep one out of his 3 blades as a Mortal Defiance that lets him survive a lethal hit on 1 HP. If he does that, the F3 isn't going on cooldown anytime soon. So Wuchen has all the patience in the world and probably won't need F3 more than once per fight. Zai gets an F refresh when she ults. This can be a reason to skip skill cooldown and take more rage glyphs instead. In solos, green grappling distance is probably too good to ignore, so she takes that and puts the rest into rage. In trios, she can arguably take even more rage and skip grappling distance, as long as at least one of her teammates takes it to catch enemies. She can put the rest into 3 out of 4 of the following: the last red and or the first of the other colors. Tessa's ult is really cheap, so if she skips skill cooldown and takes extra rage per damage taken and initial rage instead, that is going to be better for her. Since her F1 can combo break twice if the enemy immediately staggers her again, her skill cooldown is actually a little shorter than it looks, so that may be an extra reason to skip it. Hadi and Liam can cast their ult at a low cost and potentially cancel it early to save some rage. That makes it extra attractive to pick up more rage to ult even more often, so they can take inspiration from Tessa or Zai and spec into some extra rage if they want to. There are some cases in which you should change your talents or glyphs to match your strategy. Even though playing the generic glyph page is the most standard thing to do in solos, some people take extra red rage on characters with cheap ults such as Tessa. Or if for some reason you are sure that you do not want to fight in the early game and pick your fights extremely carefully, you could run blue over red. But this is very uncommon in solos. Since shop discount stacks in the team, it is more of a trios thing. In trios, it is relatively common to run red rage and blue shop using the coins over time path on some characters. Examples include the Transformers Tianhai and Jueshan, Temogue, Yodo, and Takeda. I've also seen other characters run shop instead of energy, and some teams may even run shop instead of rage, or go for a kind of hybrid build. In trios, and especially in Immortal War trios, shop discount is essential to scale and buy things like Soul Jades, Moonbane Charms, and other strong items. On certain characters in trios, I feel like skill cooldown is too good to ignore. In my opinion, Viper, Faria, Zipping, and Kurumi all have very impactful Fs that justify skipping shop for skill cooldown. They have a very strong argument in favor of skill cooldown, but it is not 100% set in stone. As a quick interim summary, if you're neither playing a character that is a special case, nor following a particular strategy that revolves around the shop, you want to skill the standard red and green with grappling distance on all remaining characters. To complete the picture, let us talk about some talents or glyphs that are not worth it. The bottom energy tree is not that good because it doesn't let you dodge that much more often. Grappling distance is simply more impactful. Red rage per damage taken is not good except on a few particularly rage-hungry characters, since centering your strategy on getting beaten up is quite questionable. The bottom blue branch is not that good because scaling quest rewards and luck isn't that impactful in Immortal War. Since most competitive-minded players treat ranked as a training environment for Immortal War, they prefer the top blue over the bottom blue. Anything purple, except for the first node, is artsy but not very impactful. The glyphs of other colors are just stronger. Keep in mind that rescue speed does not affect Kurumi F. Rescue speed is really just about touching your teammate in certain places. If your winning strategy is to minimize the negative side effects of dying, you should get that checked out. And the purple goodies from hitting parries are just too insignificant to seriously consider sacrificing better glyphs for them. Now you have a general purpose glyph page, unique pages for certain characters and game modes, and you know which talents to avoid. The new glyph system is different from the old one. Now, all the characters can dodge at least 3 times in a row. Shop discount and initial rage have been reduced. You can run both grappling distance and skill cooldown, and there are a bunch of things that give you damage reduction. Overall, the new system contributes to a meta that is more on the tanky and less on the bursty side. I hope I could help you find a glyph build you like. Please subscribe to my channel and praise me in the comments. I am not a snowflake and my emotional stability does not depend on it. Many thanks and see you next time.